Hello everyone and welcome back to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel. I'm And More Bus Videos, otherwise known as And More Central, depending on what day of the week and what video you're watching. And welcome back to Yorkshire Counties 3.0, specifically Tiverton Station. So Yorkshire Counties 3.0 is the payware version of Yorkshire Counties. It basically expands the routes. You're not sort of doing loop backs on yourself all the time. And there's a few more operators in it. You've got First, like we've got. You've got Hullies on the rail replacement that you can see passing us, and it also includes the bus passing us on the left, and you get that as part of the Yorkshire Counties package. The map itself is inspired on South Yorkshire with sort of Peak District-esque kind of inspiration, Peak District kind of routes and things. You've got your urban areas, you've got a bit of the seaside, and then you've got obviously your South Yorkshire bus stop flags. So it felt like the most appropriate place to have a little bit of a drive with the newly updated First South Yorkshire repaint pack. Now, the First South Yorkshire repaint pack, for personal reasons that quite a few of you will know, having seen the content that I release on the And More Central channel, is one of the repaint packs I absolutely love. So I was very, very excited to see that quite recently it's been updated to reflect some of the new vehicles that have shown up in Sheffield and in Doncaster very, very recently. Although it doesn't include everything, as we're getting so many transfers at the moment, it does include this repaint, specifically of First South Yorkshire 63050. So while we drive the 76 route that goes to Charter Road Estate from here in Tiverton Station, I'll explain why this bus is in red, why it's got faded out CityRed branding, if you haven't already seen my And More Central channel video on that, and I'll also explain why these buses are here and point you in the direction of some of my other YouTube videos that I've released, including some of the more recent transfers that we've had in South Yorkshire. So we'll get the bus set up. The reason that the people are stood by the bus already is because I did try and record this video the day before I'm filming it now, and I was having a few issues with the destination blind. So I basically said I need to check the blind before I actually start the video. I've used a different HOF file, so hopefully it'll all still work. So as you can see, it does. Just to note as well, the HOF file that I have used for this is included in the First South Yorkshire repaint pack. It is basically all of the destination blinds in a First South Yorkshire style. Must be noted that the style does keep changing. The First South Yorkshire like to use. They go for all different styles. In the past few years, we've had all sorts. But it still sort of gives a little bit of a South Yorkshire-esque sort of style of blind that you will see in some buses. You won't see in all because some of them have very different files on them. It's very complicated, but either way it still gives us a little bit more South Yorkshire style to this. There we go. I was about to say I didn't quite know why it won't. There we go, they're all working now. We'll let those people on for free because I kind of forgot to set up the machine. And we are leaving bang on time anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So the reason I wanted to drive the 76 route with this is because I thought, well, these street lights, these Ex-CityRed red street lights, do seem to, although they really shouldn't, because the 75 and 76 theoretically should be a double deck diagrammed route, do tend to live on the 76 and 75 a fair bit. And the day that I record this, I have actually passed this exact vehicle. I'm trying to think what route it was on, and I have passed this exact bus. I believe it was on the 56s today. But I know that quite recently has been on the 75, 76s, and they tend to lurk around on the more high frequency corridor routes. Don't quite know why, but they just tend to be on there, do these specific red streetlights. A lot of them have been painted now. So yes, for context, these are for Southampton CityRed streetlights. You'll all remember that earlier this year, 2023, depending on what year you're watching this video, the power of YouTube means that you can randomly get recommended videos from about 3 years ago. So if you're watching this 3 years in the future, hello. So these, so first Southampton shut their operation earlier this year. Southampton, I believe, for the time being, has been kept on for its offices, and the operation for CityRed's closed. The vehicles such as the street decks that they'd got from Leeds, they ended up in Portsmouth in blue. Ironically, going back into Southampton on the X4 service at Portsmouth Run, and the red street lights have been shared all over the place. The longer ones have gone to South Yorkshire. They've all been based initially. Some of them are going to go to Doncaster, but I believe they've all now entered service, if not are currently being repainted prior to entering service in Sheffield. A few people said, well, why didn't they enter service in Doncaster? Obviously, Doncaster has Doncaster's red buses, but I do fear if they entered service in Doncaster in red, they'd probably never get repainted. So I do kind of understand why they wanted them in Sheffield. So a few of the shorter wheelbase, 10.8 metre variations of the streetlight have gone elsewhere. So they've gone, a few of them are in west of England, are in where Badger Line Run, the name has escaped me. It'll come back to me randomly in the video. The name has very much escaped me, actually. It's been on my mind as well. I'm looking into doing a few days away there, and that's just fully escaped me. That's done my head in. So yeah, they've gone to the west of England, based in the Badger Line operation. A few have gone to Essex. I believe Eastern Counties might have the odd one as well. So they've basically split those around locally. But the longer 11.5 metre ones that were all previously branded, I believe, for the 7s and 8s, the Star route, I believe they were branded for. That's these ones. These have all gone to Sheffield and entered service there. These were transferred from the Star in Portsmouth when the Star got new buses, and entered service in Southampton predominantly on the free service to boost capacity on the free after a number of the longer length eclipses got transferred elsewhere, I believe. And most of them ended up at Leicester. I believe quite a few ended up at Leicester. A few previous transfers, ironically, ended up at First South Yorkshire that are now in use in Doncaster because they weren't Euro 6 compliant. So yeah, they transferred, they replaced them with longer length streetlights. Now these have come up to South Yorkshire as well when these were replaced by closure, pretty much. So the reason we're getting all of these random buses, because yes, we're getting the red street lights, and yes, there's currently ex-Glasgow B9s that are running around, and I'm going to get onto them in a second. But the reason we've got all of these running around is not a reason that you'd expect. We're not actually withdrawing and scrapping anything. We're actually withdrawing and returning buses. A few of you who have done research or have been in the bus industry and in the enthusiast world either at the same time that I have or slightly longer, will know the story with the Volvo B7L Nordics in Glasgow. Now, they were new as 52 plates at the end of 2002 to First Glasgow. They were triaxle double-deck buses. They had the capacity, I believe, of about 100, and they operated in Glasgow for 10 years until the end of 2012. Now you'll be wondering, well, why on earth, how on earth did they end up running around? Because yes, you're right, the SA52s, and TM Travel had 2, was there 1170 and 1179, Notts and Derby had 2, was 20 and 21. They came from Mass, that used to be based, I believe it was at South Anston. They used to be a school bus operator. They used to be also called Bright Bus, and they used to run bright green double-deck buses, old buses, high-capacity ex-Hong Kong vehicles, triaxles, stuff like that on school contracts in South Yorkshire and North Derbyshire. Now you're thinking, well, how on earth did they end up with that operator so early on and then end up with TM Travel and Notts and Derby? Now that's because these SA52s that they had, that were all numbered 315s in the first Glasgow fleet, were actually on lease. They're on lease for a 10-year period from the end of 2002 and the contract running out at the end of 2012, at which point First Bus reserved the right to return them back to the leaser, to not renew the lease on them, and that's exactly what they did. They got to the end of the 10-year period, they didn't require as many triaxles anymore, the capacity had changed, the passenger flows had changed, and in turn, they decided that they were going to return them back to the leaser, and they did, and as a result, the operator, the company that leased them out to First, then sold them to Mass at Brightbus, who then operated them for a number of years until they closed. TM Travel bought 2 of them, Notts and Derby bought 2 of them, and the majority, I believe the rest of them, ended up going for scrap. So that's how they ended up there so early on, because you'll see photos of them in about, I believe it was about 2014, operating with Brightbus, and obviously being just 12 years old at the time, it's a little bit strange. That's what they did. They decided not to renew the lease. I don't quite know why it's lagging as bad as it is when we get people on the buses. I've got no other major programs open. Let's just shut that just in case. And it shouldn't be lagging as much as it is when they're getting on. When Manfred got on the bus, it sort of had a little bit of a meltdown in the game. It just went, I'm going to stop, I don't know. So yeah, now you know that story, you know how leasing works and that lot. Let's fast forward to where we are at the moment, and first have the streetlights. Initially it was 30 of them, but it's now confirmed as 37 from 63001 to 63037. All 13 are 63 plates, and all of which on a 10-year lease. So all of these vehicles were on a 10-year lease from, I believe somebody said Barclays Group, Brightbus, Barclays Group, whoever's leased them, all of this lot, it's a little bit complicated. Basically on lease for 10 years, from 2013 to 2023. I imagine the initial aim at the time was for First to renew the lease for another 10 years or so, potentially 5 years, operate them for their sort of usage of 15 to presumably 18 years. It's your average bus usage time, and then return them to the leaser, who would then sell them on. However, at the moment, with the shortages of drivers in areas still, the shortages of funding in areas still, this First Bus as a whole have done a lot of cutbacks nationwide. Obviously, they've shut Southampton. First West Yorkshire has seen significant cutbacks. First South Yorkshire has cut back on tendered routes, and they've decided to stop running tendered services and just focus on commercial operations. So all of this has been happening, and nationwide, the peak vehicle requirement for buses has overall reduced. So First Bus UK are looking into reducing their fleet sizes. They don't need as many buses at this exact moment in time. That's why it's been quite easy overall, although there are still a few areas that run them, to get rid of B70Ls as a whole, some of the older B7RLEs as a whole, and it's why they're going to start withdrawing the newer B7RLEs, your 692s, your 93s, your 94s, and some of your earlier B9s from the end of this year, because parts of the first operation can begin to do that. So looking at all of that, First Bus made the decision that with these vehicles coming off lease, and the lease running out this year, they've decided not to renew it. So 37 of these street lights from 63001 to 37 are going to start coming off fleet and being returned to the leases between now and the end of 2023. So that's why we're getting these ones in. Now, these specific CityRed streetlights, the reason that these have transferred up is because these particular ones aren't on lease. So these ones are fully owned by First Bus. Thus why they've transferred them up to directly replace streetlights that have been returned off lease. That's why it's literally streetlight for streetlight replacement. So before anybody thinks, well, why are they replacing them with the same type? That's why, because these are owned and those are on lease. And that's then where these First Glasgow, some of them quite old as well, First Glasgow B90L Gemini's coming as well, and that's why these are also being transferred in to ease the capacity and sort of the vehicle shortage. I mean, the capacity as well is quite good. I'm quite glad I didn't take a decker on this. The capacity is quite a good thing because, as I did say before, you get all sorts of random ones, like the 75, 76 should really just be double deckers. But because First South Yorkshire for a number of years now hasn't had enough double deckers, single deckers sort of usher in between. So having more double deckers on fleet replacing singles is absolutely ideal for South Yorkshire. I do not know why this is losing the frames as much as it is. I do apologise for that. I think it's just the streetlight and quite high poly map combo that's not helped, I would imagine. And the AI traffic that is also quite highly detailed and high poly. But these Glasgow ones are coming in. They'll be staying for a fair bit, potentially until next year when we might see some brand new bus orders for First South Yorkshire, depending on where funding is. But I would expect more cascades coming very, very soon. There is, I can very much say now that this is nowhere near the end of the vehicle cascades that First South Yorkshire is going to be getting. They are going to be getting more and more cascades very, very soon. So there are going to still be a lot more vehicles coming in because, yes, there is a slight fleet reduction and PVR reduction, but we are still going to need more buses to replace these streetlights. Because if you look on bustimes.org, something like that, you'll see roughly how many of these streetlights are still left and how many are still used in service each day. And it is quite a staggering figure on a Monday to Friday. So they do still need quite a lot of these buses like still in service at the moment. That means they are still going to need a fair few replacement. Now there are going to be vehicles becoming available. There might be other vehicles get purchased second hand. You've got to remember that First Bus now run Ensign Bus that also have their dealership side. So we might get a few more vehicles that will come in ex-London that will be transferred up and run in South Yorkshire, such as the 361s that we got. So that might happen. Or we might get cascades from somewhere like Glasgow or Aberdeen or somewhere like that that are currently sort of getting newer buses in. So there are these opportunities coming about and what have. So don't expect any older B7s and things like that to rock up at Doncaster. That's not going to happen. But you will sort of get some midlife vehicles rocking up, some quite random ones and quite surprising ones, and that'll be popping up throughout this year because they are going to have to replace the buses somehow. So on that note, the videos that you can watch, that was quite close with that car. I thought he was going to wait. Videos you can watch is I do have a Southampton CityRed's streetlight video. It was actually filmed in the snow. It was a freak snowstorm day. So you can go and check out that video. I believe I think I went on 50 at the end. I don't think I filmed 50 as part of it. I can't remember. I know I definitely went on 54 that's now painted. 54 at the time had all of its interior branding with CityReds on, so that is worth looking at in that video. So do go and check out my Southampton CityRed street lights now in Sheffield video. So do go and check that one out if you haven't already. And very, very soon there is going to be a Ex-First Glasgow B9s now in Sheffield video coming out very, very soon as well. So do go and check out the And More Central channel for the real life relation to all of this if you haven't already, as there's going to be quite a lot of exciting stuff coming out on there very, very soon. So yeah, and that's how that links in. I still think it's really, really cool that I can drive this now in game. I am looking forward to another update because I'm hoping that the individual that does make the first South Yorkshire repaint pack, that I will try and remember to link in the description below. I don't usually link repaint packs in, but this is one I highly, highly recommend getting. If you enjoy the kind of videos I do on the And More Central channel, you keep up to date with that, and you got a little bit of the first South Yorkshire bug with all the new brands and things that we've got and all the exciting stuff going on. I do recommend getting that repaint pack. But something I do look forward to, two things. The first one, I look forward to seeing the repaints of these going into the Sheffield livery very, very soon because There is a slight, although we do have some first Sheffield repaint liveries for the street light that were reflective of 6300, 102 and 03 when they refurbished them before they realised, hang on a sec, they're actually going off lease. They got branded up very, very briefly for Ex-CityRed. That was the old Sheffield area name, I believe. So you can drive that. However, when these have been repainted into Sheffield blue, there's a slight differentiation in how they're painted in blue. So I'm looking forward to seeing that repaint out very soon. And obviously when these do get branded in whatever branding they receive, I look forward to seeing those repaints released and made. And also with the latest post update from Studio Polygon about the B90 Gemini that's currently in progress, I very much look forward to seeing quite a lot of these Sheffield brands and the first Glasgow-esque debranded liveries in the repaint pack very, very soon. So we've got all sorts of exciting stuff coming up with all of this. So it definitely is stuff to look forward to. I think another repaint I'm really looking forward to at the moment as well, repaint pack, is the This Is Alex Transdev and Blazefield Harrogate repaint pack for the B10 Bailey Renown. A few of you will have seen photos of it. If you follow, I believe it's This Is Alex, if you follow them on Facebook. They do some absolutely tremendous repaint packs. If you are into anything to do with Yorkshire, predominantly West and North Yorkshire, so there's quite a lot of Transdev as well. A bit of First West Yorkshire, done an entire First West Yorkshire repaint pack that is just stunning. But they've recently worked on this lovely repaint pack. I believe they are from Harrogate or the Harrogate Way, and they've worked on this repaint pack to create a repaint for every single livery a Volvo B10 Bailey Renown carried in Harrogate, from the beginnings of Blazefield, a sort of Harrogate and District, all the way through to the early days of Transdev Harrogate and District, through the era of the beige, and I believe it was like maroon days of early Transdev Harrogate, through Harrogate Connect, and all the way through to the Harrogate Bus Company. So all the way through, the repaints reflecting the lives of the Renowns, all the way through every single repaint one carried. I believe it includes the Urban Cool and My Bus as well. It looks absolutely tremendous, and is hopefully going to be released very, very soon. I can tell you something now, when that gets released, there's going to be quite a lot of Renown videos coming out, because I do intend to drive with most of the liveries when it gets released. Because for me, I remember most of the liveries. If not, I've done research into them in my own time. So for me, it's a repaint pack that I'm heavily going to relate to, and I'm really looking forward to driving that and telling you all my amazing stories of where I remember seeing the liveries and experiences of travelling on the buses and stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. What I do also love is some of these vehicles that have been painted into Sheffield blue have actually retained the lean, clean and green ultra low emission engine. In fairness, I would have thought it would have been quite cool to say lean, clean, green, ultra low emission machine. That would have worked out a lot better. But I do understand why it does say engine, to sort of spew the facts. But some of the ones that have been painted into Sheffield, because I haven't been revinyl yet, I've actually kept that. So it'd be pretty cool to see sort of if some of them do actually keep that little bit of a quirk when they get fully branded up, or if they do get it taken off. I know that some of the ones that got when they got branded up, the B9s, I remember, I think it was 37526 on its front window had a massive sort of first round sticker for some sort of like random old branding scheme from quite a few years ago. And when it got initially painted, it actually kept it, that I thought were really, really cool. I think it got taken off shortly after it got branded, but it was running around for a fair bit in just blue with that branding on. So little quirks like that are cool. I mean, I understand if they get taken away, but I don't. I mean, the green sticker at the back saying it's an ultra low emission. If you're wondering why it froze there, it is loading. But something like that ultra low emission does work in First's favour with the clean air zone that's in place. So I believe we are nearly near the end of the route. Well, by the looks of it, we are late. Don't know how we've managed that. I mean, we're very, very busy. I mean, it's very accurate to be like the Sheffield 76. That must be said. Very accurate to be the Sheffield 76. So we'll most likely also coming up be driving the Escafeld repaint for the streetlights, as well as we do say farewell to the streetlights that are going off lease. I don't think I'm going to be doing a video of them on the Ammo Central channel, if I'm honest. I would have done a video on them if more had been repainted prior to the them starting to get withdrawn. And also linking to that, if the ones that had been withdrawn first were the Olympia ones, and obviously the repainted ones would have stayed out. If that had been the way round that it had been done, then I'd have most likely done a video. But because most of them weren't repainted, that is fully right, I entirely understand. I'm not going to bother doing a video on them, really. I just don't see. I mean, I might change my mind, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see. We're replacing streetlights for streetlights, and unfortunately, time's against me on filming something like that. And I mean, they are just slowly coming off at the moment. So, as I say, if the blue ones would have still been out and the refurbed ones were still out, I'd have probably done a video. But because they were the first ones to go, I'm not really too bothered, if I'm honest. So. But I will be doing the repaints of, not the repaints, the videos of the new batches of vehicles rocking up, like I've done the Southampton CityReds, and I've done the Glasgow ones in videos, because they're quite exciting, and they're quite different. So that'll be the way around to do that. There is also quite a few more exciting and very unexpected, I would imagine, for quite a few of you, videos that I'm releasing on the channel very soon, on the Ammo Central channel. There's quite a few surprising farewells. It's stuff that has been in the news and has been in sort of the bus media, but it's still quite surprising as withdrawals and things like that go. So there's a few bits and bobs like that to look out for. So that's quite exciting, and just other random stuff like that. So yeah, quite a few good videos coming up. A few adventures, got Adventures by Bus series coming in. A few farewell videos coming in. Network reviews coming out from all around the UK, and I cannot emphasise how much that is all around the UK with the videos at the moment. So again, if you haven't already, do go and check out the Ammo Central channel. Make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss out, because there is some very, very exciting stuff in the works at the moment. Oh, that actually worked quite nicely with the lighting. Yes, it does. There we go, that works. I didn't realise you could manoeuvre that in a way that you could actually put the bus dead centre, but I like that. There we go. That'll do. That looks very nice. And it's perfect lighting as well. Very good. Very, very rare when I'm driving a route you get that, because I just always end up driving against the sunlight. Don't ask me how I do it, but I'm just very, very good at it. Quite a busy bus stop. I remember the time I was driving and I know to turn left here. I always know to turn left. I just went straight forward and I recorded video and I think I was near end of route and I just drove straight forward. Totally disregarded that sign because every single bus route there turns left. And I just totally disregarded it. So believe it or not, when I'm filming this, it's quite cool because I was actually on one of these ex-Southampton ones this morning. I had a short trip on 63056 that's recently been painted into blue. I believe it was the first 120 service in blue, if I remember correctly, or one of the first, because 56 I don't think entered service in red. I think it went something like 66 was out first, then 56. I mean, I honestly cannot remember. I've been that busy, I lost track. But I know it was either 56 or 66 was the first one, then the other one slowly followed, and then they've sort of 57's entered service in blue, and then I think 54 was the first one that entered service in red to actually be painted into blue. And enter service is 54, because I think the rest of them that have entered service in blue so far till that one never actually entered service in Southampton Red. So, because we had a few of them enter service in Southampton Red, I think that was 630, that was 630, 48, 49, 51, 2, 4, and I'm quite certain another one. And they entered service in red, and the rest of them I think have just slowly entered traffic in blue. So yeah, something like that. Somebody will have been keeping better track of it, and let me know in the comments if you have done. But it was either 56 or 66 entering service first. And the name of the location in the west of England that these short wheelbase streetlights have gone to, the 10.8 metres, is Weston-super-Mare. I knew I'd get it by the end of the video. Weston-super-Mare, that's where they've entered service, the Badger Line operation of the west of England, Weston-super-Mare. So that's where they've entered service, and I know that because I've kept looking on the tracker, and for some bizarre reason, they keep sending them to Bristol on the express services. So on some of the express services, you get street deck, mini street light, street deck. Very interesting allocations as they tend to go. Oh, are you genuinely parked up? That's like taxi to the curb job as well. I thought... it was just stopping to let me round. I was kind of like, it's a little bit odd for AI to do that, but I thought, well, it might be programmed, so I kind of just went for it and waited, and little did I realise it was actually... a packed up pickup. There we go, and then this is the final stop, and I know that because I absolutely love driving the 17 on here, because it is the first bus route. Although I do know of some people that have changed the entire AI list to be first, that I am very tempted with, and I will most likely do when the B9 gets released. I didn't do too bad for time. Okay. So there we go. So that was a lovely run on the 76 service from Tiverton Station to Charter Road Estate via Ingleborough and the seafront, using the updated First South Yorkshire repaint pack with the Ex-CityRed repaint livery as 63050. And the First South Yorkshire style HOF file for Yorkshire counties, again, as part of the pack. I will try and remember to link it in the description below, as I highly, highly recommend this repaint pack. It's a lovely, lovely repaint pack. If you love anything to do with South Yorkshire, it is the repaint pack for you. And I imagine once vehicles such as like the B9 are released, although it doesn't have a release date yet, is definitely in progress. It will be enhanced even more with all the endless repaint opportunities at that point. For now though, I really hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you have, then do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section, as well as an archive of over 5,000 backseated engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. With buses, trams, trains and more, there's something in there for everyone, with an additional up to 21 videos added per week, not including the OMSI 2 ones that are also released in between. So yes, do go and check this channel out, check our archives, and also do go and have a look at the And More Central channel for more content from the real life bus industry and what's going on with the Sheffield bus scene, especially with South Yorkshire. Once again though, I would like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Mate, goodbye for now. Bye.